Hey, it is Bryson Morris. I am back. This is my first YouTube video on camera. So please let me know what you think. I know I'm probably a little bit red because my room is red and my lighting is terrible, and I'm recording on my phone because I have nothing better to record with yet. But that will improve in the future. Just before this video gets started, I just want to clarify that I am unequivocally pro-LGBTQ+. This video is not meant to be super serious, and it's not supposed to make fun of gay people. Any jokes or somewhat offensive comments that are made in this video are meant to make normal people laugh and maybe make homophobic right-wingers upset, but I don't care about that. And so, since this is not a very serious video, a lot of these things are not scholarly sourced, A lot of these things are gossip or things of that nature. And I just thought that this was a good topic for Pride Month. Now, I sometimes use the term gay to avoid confusion as a blanket term for all LGBTQ plus people, and I have recently done some reading and found that there's a movement to kind of phase that type of language out. And so I will be using what most people prefer as a blanket term, which is the term queer. So first up, we have Alexander Hamilton. And now Alexander Hamilton, you might look at this painting of him and go, hey dude, obviously that guy's gay. But honestly, I think that would be a pretty common thing that you would think if you looked at any painting of most aristocrats and politicians from the West in the 1700s. So the first thing that hints that Alexander Hamilton may or may not be queer is a letter to Hamilton's wife from Lafayette, who Lafayette was an alleged maybe lover of Alexander. He was also another politician in general, I believe. And so the letter to Hamilton's wife said, "Among the general's aides de camp is a young man whom I love very much, and about whom I have occasionally spoken to you. That man is Colonel Hamilton." So just saying another man loves him to his wife. And then a letter from Lafayette to Hamilton himself, in which he said, "Before this campaign, I was your friend and very intimate friend, agreeable to the ideas of the world. But since returning, my sentiment has increased to such a point the world knows nothing about." And then there was a letter from Hamilton to John Laurens, which most people would use to claim is the most damning in the realm of if he was gay or not. So this letter was from Hamilton to who most people claim is his lover or something of the sort. Hamilton says, "Cold in my professions, warm in my friendships, I wish, my dear Laurens, it might be in my power by action rather than words to convince you that I love you. I shall only tell you that till you bid us adieu, I hardly knew the value you had taught me. You had taught my heart to set upon you. Indeed, my friend, it was not well done. You know the opinion I entertain of mankind and how much it is my desire to preserve myself free from particular attachments and to keep my happiness independent of the caprice of others. You should not have taken advantage of my sensibility to steal into my affections without my consent." Steal into my affections without my consent. Come on, man.
Gay!
Moving on now to Honest Abe Lincoln. So you may or may not have known, but there's quite a bit of info out there that alleges that Abe Lincoln may have been somewhere on the LGBTQ spectrum. Abe Lincoln and a man he met as a young lawyer named Joshua Speed were best friends for most of Abe's life. And these two lived together for 4 years, and during that time they shared a bed. Now, some historians feel the need to mention that men sharing a bed during that time did not necessarily imply anything sexual, especially if the circumstances called for it, like you didn't have the right place to sleep or something like that. But here's the thing. They slept together for 4 years, and one source claims that Abe certainly had other places to stay. He knew other people who rented out rooms. Now, records show Abe slept in bed with at least 11 men and boys, is what the quote said, during his youth and adulthood. Now, I am going to go out on a limb and just hope that it is referring to Abe sleeping with boys as boys, but take that quote how you will. And so in a letter to Speed, after Abe had learned that Speed was getting married, Abe said, quote, "I feel somewhat jealous of you both now. You will be so exclusively concerned for one another that I shall be forgotten entirely. I regret to learn that you have resolved to not return to Illinois. I shall be very lonesome without you. How miserably things seem to be arranged in this world. If we have no friends, we have no pleasure. And if we have them, we are sure to lose them and be doubly pained by the loss. I did hope she and you would make your home here, but I own I have no right to insist." He also closed this letter with "yours forever," which he did not use later for his own wife, which I feel is important to note. Now, Abe was also close to a young man named Billy Green. Now, when they were young, they too shared a small bed with one another for a year and a half. They also wrote letters to one another, in one of which Billy said Lincoln's, quote, "thighs were as perfect as a human being could be." It's also important to note that at this time, referring to someone's thighs was like overtly sexual. Like today, in the same way that you might refer to like a woman's butt or something, is the same way that in that time they would refer to thighs. So this was a sexual compliment of the person he was sleeping in bed with. They were just friends. And so there is another case as well. A third man, while Lincoln was president, he had a bodyguard and a close friend named David Derrickson. Now, it was known gossip at the time, and it was written in multiple people's diaries that when the first lady was away, Abe and his bodyguard slept together. It's even rumored that Derrickson was sometimes spotted with Abe's nightshirts on. How cute. All right, moving on to the 15th president of the United States, James Buchanan. We all know him. We all love him. Just kidding. Most people don't know him and don't know anything about him to love him. The only thing you need to know about James Buchanan was that he was gay. So James Buchanan was the only president to never marry, and on a personal level, I don't really give a shit about that. I don't think it means that much about his sexuality, but it is probably important to point out that he's the only one, and it's kind of a status thing to have a first lady for some reason. Not particularly sure why. Political rivals wrote about his better half, which referred to an Alabama senator and former vice president named William Rufus Devane King. I messed that up like 4 times, by the way. Pick a name, bro. It's too many names. And Buchanan had an intimate friendship with him. And so they lived together for 20 years, which was not extremely uncommon at the time. However, their contemporaries noted King as being particularly effeminate and referred to him as Miss Nancy. So maybe King was a queen after all. And historian James Lowen claims that, quote, "no historian who studies the matter thinks that Buchanan was heterosexual." It's pretty cut and dry. And he blames the lack of historical acknowledgement of Buchanan's sexuality on the fact that modern audiences and modern Americans may not want to think that they were more accepting of homosexuality in the 1800s than they are now, which in some ways they were. So the next part of this video is just kind of going to be a little faster because there's not nearly as much in the weeds stuff like that, details like that, like handwritten letters and things. It's just going to be a little bit more fun ragging on modern politicians. So next up is Lindsey Graham, who is a South Carolina senator who has never married. Many people over the years have claimed that he is a closeted homosexual. However, he has always denied these rumors and does the classic conservative move of hating gay people even more. But in 2020, a Twitter shitstorm kicked up when a host of gay porn stars and male escorts began alleging that Graham was gay, and he frequently hired male prostitutes and then made them sign NDAs after. Now, Laura Loomer, the conservative influencer, is not a reliable source in the slightest, but I still think that this is funny, so here we go. She was in an unrelated lawsuit with Bill Maher, and Loomer's comments about Graham were brought up. She has frequently called Graham a closeted gay man, and in this lawsuit with Bill Maher, she claimed that several people on Trump's staff personally told her that Graham is gay and that he has went to many Washington, D.C. dinners with a male significant other. Ooh, spicy. So moving on to J.D. Vance. Besides the fact that J.D. wears guy liner and is absolutely fabulous, He also wrote in his 2016 memoir that he once convinced himself that he was gay. Yes, you heard me right. He convinced himself that he was gay. Now, I just want to read this entire excerpt because I want you to have to hear what I had to read. It's kind of nuts. So, quote, "I'll never forget the time I convinced myself that I was gay. I was 8 or 9, maybe younger, and I stumbled upon a broadcast by some fire and brimstone preacher. The man spoke about the evils of homosexuals, how they had infiltrated our society, and how they were all destined for hell absent some serious repenting. At the time, the only thing I knew about gay men was that they preferred men to women. This described me perfectly. I disliked girls, and my best friend in the world was my buddy Bill. Oh no, I'm going to go to hell." When he brought up the issue with his grandmother, known to Vance as Mama, she replied bluntly, "Don't be a fucking idiot. How would you know that you're gay?" And when Vance explained his reasoning, she laughed. "JD, do you want to suck dicks?" she said, according to the book. The young Vance, apparently flabbergasted, said, "Of course not." "Then you're not gay. And even if you did want to suck dicks, that would be okay," she replied. "God would still love you." How beautiful.
I'll kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him.
Now, most people know that Trump is a very big fan of opera and theater, as well as young girls' beauty pageants. Yikes! But if that doesn't convince you, here's some videos that might convince you.
I want to check him out. Whoa! Whoa. Look at this guy. Look at the muscles in this guy. Just hit him in the shoulder. I hurt my hand. It's like hitting a rock. Get up here. I want to see this guy. I hate good-looking men. I'm going to do it. I'm going to come.
Now, I just kind of wanted to end this video on a funnier topic that I've kind of always wanted a reason to talk about just because it's so silly. But you may have heard of the Grindr servers crashing from Republican conventions. This is a rumor that circulated on the internet for quite a few years. Now, the Grindr CEO confirmed that during the 2024 Republican National Convention, Grindr usage spiked significantly. Now, he did put down the rumors that they crashed. It was just a rumor. But 2024 spiked significantly. Former Congressman George Santos actually called it the Grindr Super Bowl. And in 2016, Grindr confirmed that they had a 120% increase in usage surrounding that year's RNC. Now, I would like to mention that both of those RNCs were where Trump was crowned as the Republican candidate for president. Coincidence? Who knows? Thank you guys, gals, and non-binary folk. I just wanted to make a short and kind of silly video for Pride Month. I just like the concept of this. It's nothing too big, nothing too serious. I just wanted to get something out there. This is my first video on camera, so let me know what you think. I'm just trying to get more accustomed to the camera, accustomed to editing with this setup, and my birthday's coming up. This video actually might come out on my birthday, depending on how fast I edit this. So tell me happy birthday, or else. Seriously, thank you so much. When my birthday comes up, I should be getting a better camera setup, so my content from this point forward should be much better. And I should just get more and more used to the camera, more and more used to talking to it. If you'd like, I could just do some videos where I just sit down and talk to the camera just to get more experience, experiment a little bit. I've thought about streaming, but with my internet situation, I might not be there yet. But I have some other ideas for content to come out, but I really want to hang in there and hammer home on this YouTube channel and really make it into something, and really use it as a method for me to express myself and my thoughts and make some form of art, even if it's not really artistic. Sincerely, thank you for watching, and let me know if you have suggestions for any videos in the future. Leave a comment down below, please, and like the video. Thank you so much. I will see you next time.